This is Eat, Sleep, Invest, the marketing podcast for real estate investors to get more deals. Hey, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Eat, Sleep, and Invest. I'm your host, Brian Driscoll, and I'm here with Josh Wilson today. What's going on, Josh?
Well, what's going on, Brian, man? Happy to see you again.
Yeah, you too. Hey, so everyone listening, so Josh deals in the BRRRR, whatever you want to call it, the BRRRR Method. He helps people get into real estate investing and shows them the ropes. Like me, I made tons of mistakes whenever I got into this. So Josh, tell us a little bit about your background and what you do.
Yeah, man. Great. So story started back in 2006 and 7, right before the real estate market crash is when I got into real estate. I always wanted to, get into real estate, but I didn't know how. I didn't have any credit, didn't have any money, had the time and I had the energy and the, wanted to get into it, but at any rate, didn't have any cash, didn't have any liquidity. So what I started doing was I started managing properties for other people, learning the operations, learning how to manage properties, how to sign leases, kick tenants out, cut grass, paint properties, you name it, we did it all. And so we started doing that for other folks from 2008 to 2009. Started acquiring our own portfolios during that market crash, probably one of the scariest times of my life, literally going in, buying real estate when everybody else was, running away. So, at any rate, we did that, started building our portfolio. 2010 to 12, we learned about the BRRRR Method, and the rest is history. We literally took a $150,000 loan, turned it into over a $15 million portfolio from that time frame. And now our portfolio is growing pretty much almost by the millions every few months. We're adding more assets to the asset column.
That's awesome. How many places you got?
We have about 330 units as of today.
There's a lot of units.
Yeah.
You guys self-manage them, or you guys do the property management still in-house?
Yeah, so that's the other great thing that we talk about a lot is vertical integration. So we have a property management company, we have a sales brokerage, and we have a rehab company. So we are able to control the entire flow when it comes to the BRRRR process.
Oh, that's huge too, especially the contracting side.
It is. That's massive. Having the contractor, we actually have our own in-house team. So we also use subs as well, but we built our own in-house team. So we have teams of, we actually have 3 teams of a variety of guys that go in and do our rehabs. We actually do 2-man teams for our rehabs. We do a lot of light cosmetic medium rehab. So it's nothing real heavy lifts. But yeah, we do that and it works out very well for us. In addition to that, after the guys are done the rehab, we can literally move that property right into the wheel. And it's just in that little cycle of the property management cycle where we're just, constantly managing, maintaining, collecting rent. And yeah, man, it's a great and powerful tool that a lot of folks in the business world, it goes unnoticed.
Nice. So that's pretty solid. So if I'm hearing you right, you got into it, did property management, started buying your own stuff, figured out the BRRRR Method, scaled it up. Now you're willing to help other people learn how to do it as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. So yeah, we started doing this about 6 months ago. We started something called the BRRRR Bootcamp. And essentially we bring folks into our bootcamp. We sit down with them. We're actually now doing our first live event in April. So we're doing it in New Orleans at the Westin Hotel live event. We got 80 spots. So pretty stoked about that. We're still going to do a virtual component, but we have folks coming in, guest speakers as well. Going to go in, deep dive into the BRRRR process, the buy, rehab, the rent, refinance, and repeat. And, basically just kind of, touch on each subject of the BRRRR process on how you can, BRRRR properties and recycle that capital, which is one of the most powerful things when it comes to BRRRR. I mean, you could literally, that's the greatest thing, right? So you could take $100,000 that you can borrow from someone else or borrow from another credit facility, take that and go buy a property, rehab that property and go turn that money over again, refinance your money out and continue on the process and do that multiple times in a year. And before you know it, you have over $1 million in assets, sitting on your asset column just from that $100,000 play. So pretty cool.
It's definitely legit too. Like today, I'm closing on a property later today. I'm getting it for like 70. We'll put in like 30 in a month and a half. I'm just going to pull the cash back out. Like everyone's like, what do you mean? You get all the money back? It's like, yeah, you get all the money as long as you buy it right and and the numbers make sense. Yeah, you can keep recycling that money.
Yep.
Just like you're saying.
And look, we've had deals where we haven't been able to pull out all of our cash, but we have little strategies that we use to try to help that out. Like say for instance, you get a rogue appraisal, right? And the appraisal comes in and it's like, oh, it's like 20 grand under where you needed it to be in order to be able to pull your cash out. Well, there's different ways and different strategies you can use to try to, massage that. One of them just, pulling your own comps, bringing it to the appraiser, and trying to, get them to sway the other way based off of the data that you have. And so we've had to do that a few times, but it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. And sometimes we just leave some money in the deal and it is what it is. And, we move on. We live to see another day,
Yeah. And that's huge too. Like, even if you have to stick some money in, say a $100,000 property, for example, if you have to leave 10K in, where else can you put $10,000 in, have somebody paying off the loan, getting the depreciation, all that kind of stuff. And then you have the property, it's worth probably 200,000 by the time the loan's off.
Right. 100%. I was actually doing a calculation the other day. One of the unsung, or what we call here in Louisiana, like land yap, is appreciation. And so we were actually doing the calculations of like having appreciation on a property. And I think I did the numbers. It came out to be like our properties right now with our portfolio, we're appreciating about like $750,000 a year. So to us, that's like, it ends up being like $37,000 a month. That's if at a 5% appreciation. And so when you start doing, when you start building that portfolio and everything starts compounding, those things like principal reduction, appreciation, depreciation for bonus depreciation, all those things are just massive when it comes to building your portfolio and then building obviously generational wealth.
Yeah. And that's huge too. Like, even with real estate too, like, I just found out this year, I was talking to my CPA. He's like, hey, go buy some properties because you can depreciate, like expedited depreciation or something. And
yeah, bonus depreciation. Yeah.
Yes. It's like, he's like, yeah, just go out and buy some more properties this year because then you can pull it off your tax return. It's like, real estate's cool,
Yeah, man, I haven't, knock on wood, and I hope the IRS isn't watching this, but I do it legally. I have not paid taxes in about 10 years, but it's all because of being able to buy and invest in real estate. And again, it's just another great thing that the laws were created to look, and that's the other thing too. A lot of people say, oh man, you're skirting the system, you're doing this, you're doing that. You're really not. You're just like Donald Trump says, you're utilizing the laws at which they were written. So we're doing everything that by the book, and it was just the government obviously wants you to invest in property, so they're giving out those tax benefits to do so. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, because you're going and buying junk and making it nice. Like, they're trying to give investors incentive to make neighborhoods nice.
Absolutely, 100%. I mean, we're going in there, we're dropping $50,000-$60,000 in a house, and making the neighborhood look great. And we actually do that sometimes. We'll go and strategically buy in certain areas and continue to buy in those areas, and we actually build up our own equity essentially because we're constantly buying in the same area and we're lifting up our comp. So just another little strategy we use. So it's not rocket science.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So say, like, what's one of the top mistakes you see people that are green, just getting into the space, and they want to get into investing? Like, what are some of the mistakes you see people making?
Yeah, I think honestly, it really, the biggest mistake I think goes back to like mindset. A lot of people have a fear of failure. And, for me, when I was first starting out, I didn't have any fear of failure. It was like, that was my only option at that point, so I think fear of failure comes into play when people have they have liquidity, or they have like a stable job, or those things, or they have a savings and a 401k. And then they're like, okay, I'm going to go and try to this investing thing. And they're like, well, wait a minute. What if I fail? What if I lose all my savings? What if I do this and I do that? Like, at the end of the day, yeah, you can fail, but if you do it right, there's ways to prevent yourself from falling really hard on the pavement. You know what I mean? There's just there's a lot of due diligence that's involved, but at the same time, I still think that, this is one of the most greatest ways to to invest is in real estate, and especially the BRRRR method. So, back to your question. Yeah, failure is probably, that mindset thing is really a kicker.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that a lot too, just because I even found like once you get into, hey, I want to do something, you start researching, doing all this kind of stuff. It's like, okay, find the right people and just start doing it. You're going to figure it out during the process.
Yeah, analysis paralysis is a real thing. I mean, we have students that we talk to on a daily basis now, and they'll analyze deals like till the sun comes up, and we tell them sometimes, look, it's a good deal. Go find the money. Let's go do it. And sometimes it's just easier said than done, but that's really the biggest thing is mindset. That analysis paralysis that'll kick in and take over. You just got to kick fear in the face and move on.
Yeah, and I hear you. So now some of these people say they're coming. They're like, okay, I went out, I found a deal. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, where do they come up with the money? Because if someone's just starting out, they might not have all the cash.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And so that's a common question we get a lot. So there are a variety of ways you can actually get money through private lenders. So your own local network. Or secondly to that, we have access to hard money lenders within our group that we exclusively work with, and they work with newer investors. They work with seasoned investors. They work with investors that have a few deals under their belt, but they are actually investors themselves, and they've created these different products for hard money lending for rehab and acquisition to help those folks. So exclusively right in our group, and you have direct access to them. They're phenomenal people.
So cool. As long as the numbers make sense, there's ways to get them.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, obviously, and they're going to tell you too, if you bring them a Bodunk deal and, it's not working, the numbers don't add up. They're going to tell you that, hey, look, these numbers it doesn't cash flow the way we need it to cash flow. And they'll tell you. And then that way too, it's a learning experience. The folks that go through our program, they really don't send them bad deals because they know after underwriting so many deals after so long, they get it. They get what numbers work. They get why we put certain parameters in our pro forma and whatnot. And so just to make the numbers more comfortable and more conservative for them when they're doing their underwriting.
I got you. Yeah. And I guess, when an underwriter kicks it back, it's a deal you probably shouldn't be buying.
Correct. That's it. No, that's it, man. It's underwriter kicks it back, then you need to go back to the drawing board and redeem yourself because the underwriter is probably not going to be too happy.
Right. Yeah. Okay, cool. So then we got that. And then the construction, like I know when I first got into this, I hired a contractor on Craigslist, man. He came, put a roof on, only put half it on, never came back. So I know you help with that. Like what kind of stuff do you help on the contractor side?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a spreadsheet. We use it's a spreadsheet we use that helps you, navigate kind of making quick offers for the construction side based off of the different parameters and pricing we've paid for over the years. We do have a line item by line item spreadsheet as well that our hard money lender uses to help you create a construction budget. In addition to that, we give you some tips and tricks on how to pay new contractors. So contractors that you've never worked with before. We have some ways around to protect yourself so you don't get burned. Like you said, getting a half a roof on, and then all of a sudden you gave this guy, 50% or whatever it is to put the roof on. You got a half a roof. We have ways that we can basically limit that and mitigate that risk by using some different tools we use. I can't give it away to you now, but it is a great little tool that we use. And and then in addition to that, just contractors, we also talk about, setting up yourself for success. So with how you want to, run your jobs. Do you want to run it as a GC? Do you want to run it with subs? Do you want to run it with an in-house team? We show you, all the different scenarios and the best way that we have found to make it work when it comes to the rehab process.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff's important too. Like even that sheet you're talking about, especially now in today's world, because the prices change. Like this property I'm closing on today, I just found out I had budgeted about 10 grand for siding. Guy comes out, he wants 17.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So helping people with that, organize ahead of time on the budget so they're not getting that shock at the end, especially if you're just starting out. You might not have the extra funds to deal with it.
100%. And we have that built in. And there's a spot in there for 10% contingency as well. And then in addition to that, also we have some other ways where we show you how you can make like 10 grand at closing after you close on the property, being able to pull that out. And then we have some other ways you can make like another 5 to 10 grand doing some paper shuffling methods that we use. So it's some pretty cool stuff that you can do here. Now, look, all that being said, you still have to buy a good property. You can't buy crap. You can't buy, stuff that doesn't make sense or work. We're able to pull these numbers out and do these things because we're buying properties below market.
Right. Yeah. So, and it is a complicated process when you're starting out too. So say this event you have going on in April, what are the costs? Like if someone wants to sign up, where do they go to do that? All that good stuff.
Yeah. Awesome. So look, it's $97 to attend live in person, $97 to attend virtually online. And we also have a VIP as well. So if you automatically sign up within this month of April, you automatically get signed up for our VIP, which we have Q&A at the end of the session on Tuesday, April the 19th, I believe it is. I'm trying to look at the date. Yep. Tuesday, April 19th. So it's at 6 p.m. in New Orleans, or you can sign up virtually. You just go to BRRRBootcamp.com. You can get all the details there. And man, it's going to be a hell of an event. We got some jam-packed speakers that are going to be there. We got a guy, Pat Hilton's going to be there talking about branding and how to brand yourself and market yourself as a real estate investor going into 2022. We have Eric from iFund Cities, which is one of our lenders, exclusive hard money lender and permanent finance lender. And then we also have a guy, Corey Meeker from REI Direct Mail. He does, basically direct mail and how to get leads, how to get off market leads. So yeah, we have a bunch of different folks that are going to be attending, and yeah, man, just really, really super excited. And then myself, my wife, she talks a lot about the management structures and how all that works. So we literally have covered all the bases when it comes to the BRRRR process.
That's cool, man. Dude, that's a steal for $97.
Yeah, no, it is. It is a steal.
People like $9.97 or something.
Yeah, no, people are telling me, like, man, you got to charge more. You got to charge more. And so, at the end of the day, look, we're just trying to help people, get people in there. And I had, last night we're at dinner and somebody asked me, like, man, why did you decide to do this? And I honestly, my answer to that question was, I felt like unfulfilled. Like when you set up processes, you build the business and you get it all set up, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, now what? Like all the systems, the automations, the processes are there, the companies are running, and I kind of got bored, and I had so much information, so much knowledge, and I'm like, you know what? I was meeting with people for coffee, I was meeting with this guy for lunch, I was doing this and that, and I finally just got to the point where I was like, okay, this is now becoming another job, and we need more structure. So I hooked up with a guy that talked me into doing some coaching, and so here we are, man. This thing is like blowing up, and we're just super excited. We put a bunch of people through one of our programs last month, and I just posted last night on our Facebook. I met with 2 members of our group. In 5 months, they have acquired $1.7 million of real estate combined between the 2 of them, and so just really, really super excited about the success we have going with the BRRRR group. So.
That's solid, man. Hey, so if anyone wants to reach out, it's BRRRRBootcamp.com. So it's BRRRR Bootcamp.com. We'll have it in the show notes too. Hey, well, Josh, thanks for coming on, man.
I appreciate it, man. Bryan, you're the best, man. Thanks so much.
Hey, you too. And hey, you guys go out there and crush it and close some deals.